Yeah, beautiful people of the internet. I'm assuming that I am currently live, but welcome in everybody into the full moon in Scorpio live stream. So as you can see, I'm lighting a little bit of Palo Santo right now in order to get the good vibrations in the air. We're shifting seasons right now. Whenever we shift to zodiac seasons, there's always a certain brand of intensity in the air because we can all palpably feel the change, but we don't necessarily know where it's going yet. And that's part of the energy that I want to kind of get into and why I even decided to start this full moon in Scorpio live stream a little bit early. We're still heading off the heels of the original beginning of this eclipse season. Here's some cleansing for all of you. But we're heading off the heels of this original portion of our eclipse season. And because of that, we're starting to see the changes palpably, again, word, in our lives, right? So what's up, everybody? I have the live chat right over here next to me as well. So if anybody has anything to say or have anything throughout this live stream, just make sure that you drop that over there, and I'll be picking this up periodically as I break everything down, right? So, full moon of Scorpio, what's really going on about it? I first want to talk to you about this Jupiter and Uranus conjunction in Taurus, because there is this huge influx of good luck and fortune that's coming in. There's going to be a change in terms of how we view our own personal resources as well as the economic structure of things that are larger as well. Part of what's happening with this Jupiter and Uranus change is that we're starting to understand why this eclipse season was so important in gearing us into these aspects of ourselves. Why was this eclipse season so critical about learning how we stand on the things that we choose to, why our relationships are built the way that they are? These are all of those circumstances that allowed us to be here in this part today. And we're entering into this new phase trying to see what is it that we truly care about? What is it that we truly want to put our energy into? As we can see, your moon finally, we are entering into this full moon in Scorpio. But why do we have this? We're like, one side of this is big energy in Taurus, which is all about building things, all about the stability that you have, money, resources, the finer things. And on the other side, it's Scorpio. It's the letting go of everything. It's the real intensity of emotion. It is the efforts of lust. Whereas on the other side, it's like aren't we supposed to do the same things and stay comfortable? This is the kind of change that we're starting to recognize as we are stepping into Taurus season tonight, right? Finally made it to a live. Thank you for being here. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Thank you for already hitting the like button. I see a lot of you already have. We're going to just get into this today. I'm going to be really straightforward. This is a really weird, energetic day. I thought I was going to have like a lot more energy for this overall full moon of Scorpio, but I think with this Mercury Retrograde as well, it's definitely been one of those time frames that as asking us all to go more within than to push out. However, as y'all know, I'm going to pop in and do my best efforts to explain this. Okay, one more time. Back to this conjunction. The planet of luck and the planet of innovation, change, all coinciding in this earth energy. What does this mean? This could mean that we're about to uproot all the things that we expected. I think this is not expect the unexpected full moon, but this is your expectations may have been lower for yourself than they could have been. I think this full moon is starting to really have people release the fears of attainment. I think a large part to where people try to manifest millions of dollars. Oh, I want millions of dollars. Oh, I want to get this thing. Oh, life would be so perfect if I had this piece of equipment. Life would be so perfect if I had everything that I was looking for. And I think this full moon of Scorpio really wants us to find that notion from within, because with Scorpio energy, a lot of the times people talk and they say, oh, the universe, God, Everything that we're looking for is outside of us. Everything that we're seeking is either in the sky or in the stars or in this. And that's partially true. But all of those things as well live within us, right? There's a concept of as above, so below. And it's full moon in Scorpio. And what I'm really seeing with this is going to be really initiating people who are ready to get onto a path that is led by their soul. This is the full moon for you. This is the full moon for all of the people who have been doing the work and know that there's just one thing missing, or there's one part that they have to let go. This is that full moon in Scorpio to have you let go of that last part of eclipse season that you felt was holding you back. So one thing that's been going on in the past month throughout this whole Aries season is by this time, you know way more of who you are than when it started, right? By this time, you know so much more of who you are and where you've been over the last 30 days than you have known in the last year. Straight up. That's because these eclipses have been like molding us into accepting the truths of ourselves, from the innermost truths to those hidden treasures of truths, to literally just acknowledging where we are as people, right? I remember in terms of this astrology, 6 months ago was when I first started off my journey to, let's say, make the same information that I was given. I wanted to make it more aesthetic. I wanted to make it easier to watch, easier to look at, easier to hear. And now we're at this part 6 months after this eclipse thing. And here's the setup right here. What have you done in your world where you can now stand on with your 10 toes and knowing that you did that? What changes have you made effectively? What parts have you actually claimed in your life and in your world? Because this upcoming rest of the astrological year has everything to do with, are you willing to walk through fear in order for you to get to your highest of heights? I wrote a newsletter on this overall transit with this full moon in Scorpio, and I named it La Petite Mort, right? And the concept of that is French for the little death. And if any of you have had a good time in the bedroom with a special person, you might understand what that actually means. Keeping up the YouTube partnership, you know. But in terms of that, there is this ecstasy that people reach when they let themselves off, when they let themselves do what they have to do. And the whole portion of this is that in that elation, and I'm using this as an example, in that elation, in that letting go, there's this thing that we joke around about a lot of the time where it's like, we call it post-nut clarity, right? To where anything could have been going on prior, and afterward, it's just like, you know what? Life's good. Life's going to be okay. I know at least that's the case for a lot of people. And if you're having a great time with that, that's typically what happens, right? Now, there's other instances to where when we don't, let's say, have that full elation of things, and then there's this certain sense of holding that energy in, or when we're not allowed to properly express ourselves in terms of that creative primal force, so to speak. But when people get pent up, they start acting crazy. When people get pent up, they don't really necessarily know how to react or what to do or what to say. Why? Because they're not able to really let off that full expression of themselves. A lot of people get also into the spiritual miracle business, and they forget the fact that they can have lust that lives within them. They are allowed to enjoy the pleasures of other things like that. The concept here truly is, how are we really finding the balance between all of it? Because if you're so led by the physicality of things, you're not going to reach that level of intimacy. And if you're too caught up on the intimacy end, you could actually miss out on the legitimate interaction, human to human, person to person, that comes in. The reason why I'm talking about all this with the full moon of Scorpio is because you need to allow yourself to be sultry. You need to admit to yourself the urges that you may have in these capacities, not necessarily because you need to go out to fulfill all of them. That's not what I'm saying. But when you're literally not allowing yourself to feel that passion because of one reason or another, you don't know what that intention or that intensity is actually trying to teach you. And this goes in coinciding with this Jupiter and Uranus conjunction, because a lot of people are like, oh, this is a great time for me to wish in all the things that I ever wanted. It's a crazy big conjunction. We can just wish and we just need, want. Meanwhile, you're not even telling the universe what you actually desire. And this is part of why I think this full moon in Scorpio is so important. It's because even if you do know the things that you tangibly want, have you been able to do the emotional legwork of what it feels to truly admit what you're aiming for? Now, granted, I know that there's people from all walks of life. Maybe the person that you are liking in this regard is someone who's of the same sex. Let's just say there's a lot of history behind that. There's a lot of context. There are people who are forward thinking, right? There are people who are not forward thinking at all. How could you? At the end of the day, though, love is love, and who you desire is who you desire. And as long as they are of age and they want to rock with you, more power to you. That's what that's about. But here's the point. This full moon in Scorpio needs you to feel the intensity of that feeling. Where that intensity goes is going to be up to how well you've allowed these eclipses to do that work for you. Because the Aries side of that eclipse was, hey, this is exactly what I want. And this could be in terms of money. This can be in terms of your creative world. This can be in terms of who you want to date, speak to, etc. On the other side of this as well, this could be like, yo, I couldn't admit to myself how important this thing was for me. And this full moon in Scorpio might really take you through the ringer again of having to almost re-experience the same thing. Why am I saying it this way? Because we have this full moon in Scorpio at 4 degrees of Scorpio. At 4 degrees, and for my degree theories, for my nerds and stuff, this is the Cancerian degree. And so when we're talking about the Cancerian degree in terms of desire, what desires do you have hit home? What is it that you truly enjoy? I had the last 6 month saga of this eclipse cycle, once Aries and Libra hit, really having to sit and discover, yo, I genuinely do care about the presentation of these videos. As a matter of fact, one of my biggest gripes with the spiritual world in general is that we have so much to say. We have so much information and insight, but we, as a larger core collective in terms of a lot of spiritualists, we don't necessarily have the background of video. We don't have the background of how do we make things look as aesthetic as possible, because every other industry has the money to dump that in. People that typically work in the terms of spirituality or the metaphysical, stuff like that, we're so caught in the spirit that we kind of don't even think about how it's presented to other people. We're just really trying to deliver the message. My goal has been to finding the balance between the two. That's the Libra portion. Not saying that that's perfect. I'm not even saying that I 100% got there. But if you look at my last videos to now, from 6 months ago to now, same space, same everything else, but there's slight improvements every single time. And I only reference myself into these transits to show you and to reflect back to you. What have you been working on? What has been on your mind over the course of the last month? This Mercury retrograde in Aries has been hitting like this for a reason. You have no excuse to not honor yourself anymore. We are in 2024. This whole entire Taurus season is built off the capacity of, are you willing to claim your self-worth? Do you consider yourself an asset to a company, or are you just there working? Are you actually getting up to do things that are on your heart of hearts, or are you just going day by day because that's what they told you to do? This is the differential of what's coming up with this. And I'm not trying to go off too hard, but this is that full moon in Scorpio. And you can hear like in this capacity where it's like, you can't pretend like the world should shift for you if you can't claim the world that you want to shift. That's what this full moon of Scorpio is about. So there's a lot of fear. People are afraid to admit to themselves what they enjoy. I had a conversation just last night. Let me give you a real term example. I had a conversation last night. In this conversation, I went out. I was just out and about. It was a Thursday night. I said, hey, let's just be social. Let's just go around and enjoy ourselves. And I ran across this woman who ended up coming up to me because I'm him. I'm stop. But this woman came up to me, right? And in this conversation, she's explaining to me in a beautiful and poetic fashion about here's how I'm perceiving this night. Here's all the things that I'm sensing and feeling. Here's all the parts of what I've been observing throughout the room and the energy here and everything else like that. And I'm like, oh, cool. That sounds dope. And the minute that it got to her being like, oh, but I can never say that I'm a writer. And I'm like, why not? She's like, well, I'm not the most proficient writer in the world. I'm like, okay, but like, do you enjoy writing? It's like, oh, well, some writer once said that you can only be a writer if you write every single day, no matter what, every single day. It's like, well, it sounds as though this whole writing thing is something that's very much on your heart. And it seems like it's a very strong part of who you are. Who are you to deny yourself the concept that you enjoy to write? And I know I'm an astrologer, and a lot of my day-to-day world is helping people like really become the best versions of themselves or to improve on things that are really on their heart. So for me, this is a natural type of conversation. I didn't bring up astrology. I didn't bring up the universe. We were just talking mano a mano. But one thing I had to point out to them is I'm like, yo, you can't sit there and feel like you need to do this thing and not give it a shot. Because how many people in this world have desires towards something and never put their foot forward towards it? And the last thing that you want to do is to grow into your world to a state where you're unable to do the things that you wanted to go for, and then you can't do them. And this is where the grimmer part of this full moon of Scorpio kind of comes in to a certain extent. And I'm going to leave one more anecdote from my personal life to kind of give y'all some context in this portion, right? One of my main driving and motivating factors, and it's a little grim, but I'm gonna have to be honest with you. When I was growing up, I had to help take care of my grandparents or be around them as they were in their older age. A few of them were sick. I watched them all pass on as I was younger, but I had at least gotten enough of a relationship to all of them in order to kind of understand the world that they were coming from. And if it wasn't directly from them, it was from the people that were around. It was from the people who were in that time frame. So I spent a lot of my younger life in nursing homes, like going into different hospitals, having these conversations and just running off and asking random people questions because I'm literally a kid at the time. So one thing that I noticed across the board when I started talking to these people is that when they saw my youth, the first thing that they had was regret. And that really confused me because I'm like, oh, like you're older. Isn't this like your family's supposed to be around you? You're supposed to be kind of celebrating your accomplishments. Like what's going on? And the amount of people, men, women, just older in that position, they all had to sit there and tell me, you want to know what? I lived a decent life, but I wish I had given this a shot. I was like, oh, wow. Like you really wanted to do music. Why didn't you do any music? Well, no one believed in me, so I never tried. Oh, and so you always thought about this? Like, yeah, I've thought about it every day for the last 50 years of my life. And now here I am. And that would be so heartbreaking to me that somebody who could be about 70 years old was too scared to get up and do karaoke at their own spot because someone else told them that they couldn't do that. Because someone else said to them that that isn't a possibility. And this full moon in Scorpio, I want to kind of use this anecdote because you don't want to grow old not giving a shot at the thing that you know is most on your heart. You don't want to take the time out of your world to give yourself excuses as to why you can't allow your soul to grow in this lifetime. This is a no BS kind of year. This eclipse season did not just come through just to dance on all of our perceptions and go away and leave. That's what this full moon in Scorpio is about. And yes, this is one of the most important manifestation time frames that is going to go on for the next bit. It is. But are the things that change and shift, are you willing to accept them with the grandness of your heart? Are you willing to get out of your own way, to dig within in order for you to truly embrace the passions that you have deep within? Because if you're not following your heart's desire in 2024, I promise you it's going to show. And although in previous years, you can pretend, you can fake the funk, you can act like you like the job that you're in, you can pretend that you're with the spouse that you want to be with, you can do all these other capacities and pretend, fake pretend, and that is not what's going to be going on moving forward past this full moon in Scorpio. And anyone who's not living in their truth, everybody's going to see, whether you're spiritual or not. So what are you deciding? Because this right here is the capacity of this full moon in Scorpio. If you're not willing to claim what you do with your entire heart, you are doing the wrong thing. And here's the other kicker to this. There might be something that you are doing with your whole heart, but you have to also admit that part to yourself as well. A lot of times we get so caught up in things having to look such a specific way. I did all my manifestation work and it was supposed to be exactly like this. And I wrote it down and I did the ceremony with the lady and she told me exactly what to write down for me to get this. And it's just supposed to come through and it hasn't. And it might have, but it just didn't come through the way that you anticipated. And the problem is we get so caught up in the human need for everything to look the way that we need to, that we can sometimes miss out on blessings that are right in front of our faces. You could be asking the universe, I need a partner, this, that, and the third. And you find the exact human being who would go half and half with you all the way down to the last cent. But it's like, oh, but they weren't the exact brand of pretty I thought. Therefore, I must dismiss them as a human being. Are you for real? I think what happens, and this is why I said in the short form content version of this, I said, do not allow your ego to block your blessings during this time frame. It's not always going to look the way you anticipate, but if it feels the proper way, if your energy knows that it's right, and if you can trust your instinct and your heart enough to understand that this is an important part to what you are and what you have to do and accomplish, then nothing can stop you besides you. In this Taurus season, we're finally getting some reprise. And this is the last part of Aries season. I'm talking to y'all right now. That's why I'm like this right now. But like, this is the part that ends up happening. And so, yeah, we just entered Taurus season right now. Like literally, this is the first minute of Taurus. I stay wanting someone to hold your hand in the process. No, there is no hands to hold in the process. That's what this Aries season was about. I'm not saying this directly at you. And I've definitely talked to you before about other things because we've done readings and such. But the concept was like, if no one can celebrate what you do, if no one gave you any accolades for what it is that you went across, if nobody was there to like kiss up and be like, oh my God, I love the way that you did that, are you still going to do it? Because that right there is the core portion to what this full moon of Scorpio is coming up, right? The reason why a lot of people are going to miss out on this manifestation opportunity this weekend is because they're going to be so caught up in what their ego expects them to get. They're going to be so caught up in what they think that they need, that they're going to miss out on the opportunity of the blessing of what's actually available right in front of them. Taurus is about the finer things, but you cannot accept the finer things in life until you are in tune with the nature that's in front of you. You can't even appreciate why something is the way it is until you tangibly can understand what that is to you. And this is what this overall Scorpio moon is doing. This is what this Taurus season entry is doing. You had all the last 30 days for you to figure that out as far as what you want. And 2 days after this full moon in Scorpio, Mercury Retrograde ends. So I'm not saying that at the exact moment of the full moon in Scorpio, you're just going to have this exact moment and metamorphosize and turn into a butterfly and fly away. Although you could. Respectfully, that's not particularly what I'm getting at. But what I can say is that if you're willing to genuinely embrace the emotions, like someone said earlier, I want someone to hold my hand during the whole time. Highlight that feeling. Don't get stuck on the fact someone else has to hold your hand, because you might be like, I need someone to help guide me through this. And in the universe, your guides, God, whatever way you want to put it, might be right behind you. But if you're looking for someone specific to do it, it's not finna happen. And that's one of the problems that we have had in this modern spirituality age, is that we are not manifesting for real, genuine things. We are manifesting materialism in a capitalistic world. And that's what's been happening. What's the difference? Because at a certain point in human history, all we had were figs and berries and one another. Now we at the point where we had this whole different part of technology and everything else. And everybody wants somebody to love. Everybody needs a sense of community. And we have all the means to do it, yet we haven't figured it out yet. Not as a whole collective. And this is part to why this full moon is so important. Because this full moon in Scorpio has every opportunity to help you remove your own blocks. This full moon in Scorpio has all the opportunity to get you out of your own way. And when it comes to really highlighting your success, to really tapping into your heart, that's what all this change has been about. That's why eclipse season was hitting the way it does. That's the reason why we're stepping into Taurus season the way we are. That's the reason why I'm on this live stream today, despite being tired, because I said, yo, this is that important. You know what I'm saying? This is that important. If there's something that you can lose sleep over and be okay about. Now, granted, sleep is very important. But if you can lose sleep about something because you care about something that much, that means you care. If you pop up and you're getting on stage for the first time and you're like, oh no, I'm nervous, I'm gonna do a bad job, that just means that you care. We get so scared as a society of our feelings because it's actually what makes us human. But it's in our humanity in which the divine can actually show up. And that's what the stars are for. You feel me? All right. So I know I've been going off. It's time to turn thoughts into things. I'm saying the best therapy is spending time with the elderly and infants. I absolutely agree. Because when it comes to people who are older and that they've experienced so much, but we have every opportunity to learn from our mistakes. That's the reason why we typically get told to respect our elders. Now, am I going to respect every elder ever? No. Because some people ain't nothing. They would look at me and be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I can't respect every elder, but I do have my heart open to it first, which is important. When it comes to infants, they come in, these little ones running around, they are so honest with you. If you be like, oh my God, do I look good in this dress? They're going to look at you and be like, no, if they don't think so. Now, what happens is this is a reflection of the truth, because that same kid that might see somebody, they might see me wearing this shirt. So somebody might go there and be like, why are you wearing that shirt? About, well, oh, it's a pretty good shirt. I mean, I like this shirt. What's up? Like, that shirt ugly. That kid just told their truth. But what do we tell that kid? No. Don't say that to them. That's rude. No. Don't tell them the truth. That'll mess with things. And this is the kind of imprint that lives in us until we are old, if we don't have the active capacity to feel through them. Right? Because as much as my stuff is about astrology, I think astrology is truly the medicine to help us heal. Because once we can see these are the complexities of our own world, these are the complexities of our own energy, we have the opportunity to make something of that. Now, I know I've been going off a bit, but part of the reason why this is even happening too, and what I also want to highlight, is that we have Saturn in Pisces and Mars in Pisces right now. There is a huge capacity on how are you honoring your spiritual world? How are you honoring your spiritual self? Are you honoring your spiritual world and your spiritual self? Is there been something that you've been developing? Have you been into the arts at all? Have you been meditating? Have you been reading about different things? Have you been ignoring human design and learning your astrology instead because it's way more of a better investment into your time and your life? I love having my little shots of that. But still, this is the capacity and this is the change of what's genuinely happening. And so when we get back to this full moon of Scorpio, why was I saying that? Because let's say you are in a circumstance to where the opinions of everybody else matters more than what you think of yourself, right? Are they paying your bills? Okay, they're paying your bills. Maybe they have a chance to say something, right? Oh, are they actually making you happy and satisfied in all the ways you need to be satisfied? Oh, you know what? This person, their word is really important for that. But we so often get caught up in everyone's opinions in a way where we're not being fair about everyone's opinions. We're only being fair about the ones that impact us. Because if I hopped up here and thought about some of the comments that I've ever gotten in doing astrology and everything else like that, if I just listened to that, I wouldn't be here to explain this to you. I wouldn't be here to speak my truth. I would be doing something else. I'd be working in some stuffy office, being upset, looking the way I do still, and not knowing how to budge. But this is the concept to where it's like when you choose what has already chosen you, you cannot go wrong. But the issue is we don't try to choose what we know is really right for us because we know how hard it's about to be. But if you love something enough, you get to tap into what that actually is. It don't matter what you do in this world. There's literally people that make balloon animals for a living, and they might make more than you would have ever done if you had gone to business school for 8 years and got a master's. It don't matter no more. It just depends on how much you're willing to put into it. Right? When I come on here and I'm like, hey, yo, I'm the best astrologer in the world. I'm not saying that for right now, but when you go back in 10 years from now and you look back at that, you can at least see that I've been said that. What are you claiming in your world? How are you going to be willing to alchemize? Are you ready to transform into a better version of you, or is that just better on an Instagram caption? This is what this full moon is about. It's what this weekend's about. Because if you get into the proper change that might open up the gates for you to do the thing that you truly want to do, and you ignore it because it doesn't look exactly the way you thought it was going to be, then you are missing the point. You are missing the point of this spiritual journey. You are missing the point of why your ancestors and everything else have been surrounding you since the day you were born. You need to embrace the innermost mechanism of who you are, and everything else starts to formulate exactly the way it's meant to. And this full moon in Scorpio is going to show you this. Either you step into transformation, you allow the light to change you, or that shadow that you have is going to keep trying to tell you that you're not that power. There's one more thing I need to point out for this full moon in Scorpio. And it's part of a series that just recently came out, and I do not want to spoil it for anybody who has not seen it yet. But to put in reference, X-Men 97. I've been a huge X-Men fan since I was a kid. If you haven't understood that, I don't know what else to tell you. But X-Men 97, it just recently came out. It's a cartoon rendition and a continuation of the original X-Men series that came out in 97. Who would have thought? But the main reason why I'm pointing this out is because there's the last episode that came out, which is very near and dear to my heart. There was a character who had lost their way. And it wasn't until there was something that was dark and antagonistic that came up in order for her to realize just how strong she truly was, with or without whatever power she had prior. Was she able to still step up into that? And there's this moment in this where she claimed her power, and I almost just burst out in tears. And this is a cartoon. The only reason why I'm explaining it this way is because the concept of this energy and the way that this all taps in is that if you can claim exactly the power of your soul, if you can really step into that, that's why I love astrology once more, because everyone I've ever done a reading for, don't be questioning who they are no more. Everyone I've ever done like a full reading for, when someone says something weird about astrology, you go ahead and you check back on that recording and you like, oh shoot, he said that some other person was going to say something weird about this. That's crazy, because that's how powerful this tool is. And this is a tool. It is one of the most divine and sacred tools, but it's one of those situations that once you understand where you at, you always know where you're going. And wherever you going is based off of what you're willing to do. And however you end up shining is based off exactly what you're willing to accept within yourself. Because the greatness has always existed within you, not just what you see on a TV screen. Unless you're watching this on a TV screen, then you're also seeing greatness. You feel me? Anyway. All right, cool. My fault. I had to break all that down one time. I know it's been a lot. I know it's been dense. I know I've been going off, but this is the importance of this full moon in Scorpio. And I would be very remiss to not give you the intensity that also kind of comes along with it. So, yeah. 1 second. I'm looking back. He looked like he had Scorpio though. Thank you. I've accepted whenever someone said that. They're like, hey, he has Scorpio or something. I'm like, oh, that means I see what you're saying. No, let me stop. Let me stop. Y'all can keep guessing. This is mad fun. Yeah, we still out here. I'm glad that you're here. I hope you feel better. So I see that you said you're sick. What's my big three? My big three is Dylon. No, playing. Oh, you found me on the Peace Dealers. What's it called? Yeah, Peace Dealer the homie for real. Matter of fact, shout out my boy Brand here, as his username says. He was here when I used to watch all the astrology videos. I had this big TV. This is mad random, but there was this time frame. I had my own room in college, which was also a big room of an old mansion. There's a lot of lore here, but basically I ended up finding a TV that was so old, but it was like a old home theater TV type thing. And someone threw it out and they just had it on the street one day, and it was like close enough to my house. And I was like, I think you helped me bring it in. Cause I was like, I mean, they put it out for anybody. And so we went to go grab it. We picked it up, and when I tell you, like, I sat in there with this giant old TV that couldn't have been more than like 720 resolution ever, and I just would watch everybody's YouTube video, just like all the way through every astrology video I could get my hands on, and I would just watch it. And shout out to Peace Dealer, because my boy Mike, he was the first one to show me that astrology existed like every day for real. That was the first time I ever watched somebody to break down transits in a way. And to be transparent, like, part of the way I even do lives has a lot to do with how he ended up doing them to begin with. So that's one of the big bros as far as like really having me tap into this. So I always got to give him love whenever I can in terms of that, because, like, you know, be it with that and how he approached that is why I knew that this was possible and more. So got to give the shout out to that in that regard. You know, it was the heavy one. Yes, bro. That we had, like, it might have been 3 of us, bro. But I just remember having that TV in there, and it was old. There was this vintage thing. It was nostalgic. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because one thing with Scorpio that's really important to break down too, Scorpio has a lot to do with intrinsic memory, right? Why? Because when we think about memory, oftentimes we're not seeing the event. We're not even necessarily like, I mean, some people do. Some of y'all do. Y'all are nice though, but that's why you watch me. You feel me? But like, it's more so what was the feeling that happened then that brings us back to that memory portion. You know what I'm saying? So just something to point out, something to say. We got 66 of y'all in here watching. I feel like I have mentioned this to everybody, and some people pulled through. So that's love. I'm hyped. All right, cool. So here's what I'm about to do. Before I get distracted. Now I'm picking up random stuff. Here's what I'm going to do. For those of y'all who want to get a mini reading at the end of this live stream, I think I've done the main portion of what I want to break down in terms of this moon. So for y'all who want a mini reading at the end of this live stream, make sure that you check out the link that is in the description. I'm going to try to drop it one more time in the chat just so y'all have it. But I am doing these live mini readings. I'm going to go through each of the zodiac signs for your sun, moon, and rising as to like what this is going to be, what this is going to mean for everybody. That's on the free. That's on the house. That's because I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that y'all get that information. And on the flip side, if you ever do want to fully just get the reading this month. You might as well. I think I've been getting really deep into the most recent readings in a different way because of the way that this Mercury retrograde in Aries has been going. So it's been really fun to like really dive in and dig to it and to pull out these gems within people's charts and their energy and world. And so it's been a fun time. I get to do what I love and y'all get to watch, enjoy, and it's a blessing for real. So let me make sure that I send this over to y'all real quick. I will show for likes. Thanks, man. We go way back in case you ever see me laugh. It was a heavy one. Yes, it was. All right. This is your first live and you're living for it. Let's go. Yeah, this is how we get down. This is a live and I'm tired. I'm tired. I was like, well, let me just break this down though, because I'm not finna do it this weekend. Respectfully, but all right, let's start to get into all of this, right? So for anybody who does want to pop in for the mini readings, this is your time. Start looking at it, start seeing what it's hitting for. If you've never seen me do my live stream before, watch me dance. All right. So I'm gonna first go off and kind of do what's really happening right now for everyone. And I'm going to do two. Let's start off with this. What are we looking forward to when it comes to this Jupiter and Uranus conjunction? And how is it going to be working with the full moon in Scorpio? Let's get this contextually proper, right? Let's see what we got. What's happening for the collective in terms of this auspicious line in the sky? The Hierophant. Sorry, it's a song called The Hierophant. It's by King Princess, I think. It gets stuck in my head every time I pull this card. But someone else paid me money. Stop paying me money. Now I have more work to do. I have to read for more people and help out the collective. This is exactly what I signed up for. I'm making a living doing this stuff. I love it, helping the people and showing you how to do it. It's crazy, man. It's the Hierophant. So the Hierophant, right? The concept about this is pretty much Hierophant actually is the card of Taurus, believe it or not, right? So what is the deck? This is the glow in the dark Rider-Waite's Tarot black and white, because it's the most me thing I could have done. But the Hierophant portion, right? This right here is to show you that you are not that far away from the universe as you thought. You're not that far away from your spirit guides as you thought. As a matter of fact, the Hierophant is supposed to be acting as what the Pope's title essentially is supposed to be, in terms of like, you're supposed to be delivering the will of the universe and explaining it to mankind, right? I could say that Hierophant is the Pope, but the Pope literally just tried to let out some peace doves and then they got beaten up by crows, because that's the times that we're in. So in case you were wondering, that's the kind of thing that's going on. The reason why I'm saying that this is like so random and also like funny that it's happening is because I think we're all as a collective coming back into the true depths of our thoughts, right? This is mind over matter. One of the concepts behind this Uranus and Taurus conjunction and how it's working with the full moon in Scorpio is that it is a mind over matter, and then what matters is the mind and how you feel about what you're thinking. That's the easiest way for me to explain this really intriguing dichotomy that's pulling up in terms of this, right? Yo, one of your favorite readers uses that deck. Yeah, it's me. I was like talking junk, honestly. Anyway, but in terms of this, right? Sorry, not sorry at all. But in terms of this, not much love, y'all. I'm a goofball still, but I'm a little more intense today because this is just the kind of full moon that deserves that time frame, because we're really opening up the the gates, if you will, to genuinely utilizing our emotional intelligence in a way that becomes real life plan. Let me see what else is pulling up with this, because we are intuiting today. Okay, the Knight of Wands. And if you've ever heard me say wands, I always say it like that because I'm weird. All right, but the Knight of Wands, right? The Knight of Wands, and underneath we have the Page of Swords. This is the type of guy, I'm going to say this right now. This is the type of guy who has read every single Instagram post you've ever had, who watches your story endlessly, who's just like, who only likes every story, likes all the posts, and has never said a singular word. It's just like, wow, look how wonderful they look from such a far place. And in your head, you're like, I would love to give you an opportunity. You're like, oh, but you're so far away. How beautiful you must be. You must get all of this. But actually, no, you could definitely shoot your shot. You're like, oh my God. It would just be a beautiful thing for me to see this. Do not be this person. This is the problem. I think part of the reason is that there's so many people just looking and being like, oh, well, that would be so wonderful. Meanwhile, the Knight of Wands has already pulled every single person's number in there that has any form of self-worth. The Knight of Wands has come through and said, I like the way your hair moves to the side like that. Give me your number. Let me get your hairdresser. And then you like, ooh, did I just get rizzed up? This right here is like, I'm using this as an analogy because you can be and you could choose to be a passerby. You can choose to let life go by. You could choose to watch all your favorite people do whatever they do forever. Or you can get active with them. Or you could step up into your power. Or you could start to actually deliver the truth of the passion that you have. And when you do, guess what's scaling out? Justice. So the reason why you have to follow your dreams here, the reason why the full moon of Scorpio is so concerned about you really implementing that is because through you actively tapping into your truth, you are having the Justice card and the High Priestess. Do you see the similarities of these cards? Do you see the similarity in peace and understanding and just the poise that ends up happening? I think this full moon of Scorpio is going to like truly start to open up everybody's pretty boy swag. No, let me stop. But it's truly going to start to open up the potentiality for you to know that you're at a seat of power versus trying to always maybe like raise the envelope. I think people are really going to start to slowly see what power just initially lies within them. And this is what's really important about this upcoming full moon in Scorpio. Are you able to actually embrace it? Are you able to actually like pull this through, right? So someone said the crow symbolizes transformation though. They can symbolize peace also. Yes. And I think that in terms of the crow that ended up interrupting the doves thing is that it's like, did they put that out in the right intention? Did they put that out because they truly thought so? Or were they just following what they were supposed to do? Because if you're pretending to have a divine message in that sort, people like, maybe that wasn't the message to put out, right? It's hard to be like, hey, here's a peace dove when the whole world is on the edge of its everything else, you know? So that's kind of the capacity and why I keep telling people this is about embracing your feelings, because the scales are favoring those who are genuinely ready to tap into their hearts. No, I didn't even get into the zodiac signs yet. This is for everybody. And one last thing for everybody before we hop in. Oh, look, guess what? More swords, right? We have the Queen of Swords. And this is the final overall thought that I have for the collective, where it's like, you get to choose what you put your energy into. You get to choose what you put your mind into. You get to choose how you go about the days, the practices, and life that you do. No one else. Don't forget that during this full moon of Scorpio, because I promise you there's going to be people who want to talk you out of your power. This is not the time to do it at all. More money, stop it. More money. Papa need a new pair of shoes. I actually do, low-key. But it's crazy. Anyway, so, all right, let's get it. Now we're going to get into the signs. Because it's the Scorpio full, it's because it's the Scorpio full moon that's coming up. We're going to start off with the water signs, right? So let's start off with Scorpio, and then we'll keep it pushing from there. I appreciate you all for being here. Make sure you leave a like if you haven't. Drop the mini reading if you want to get something quick. And if you just need the whole thing, I can give you the whole thing. You feel me? If you could tell. I need to stop. I'm on a YouTube partnership role. I'm trying to be good. I think it's because I can't say anything too outlandish that like they start coming up more, you know? It's just how it goes. But all right, I'm sorry. Back to the actual astrology. Let's get professional here. Let's get it. Girl, I'm giving you the whole thing. 25 on your fingers, 5 on your share. You can't see these other ones, they won't call you again. That's enough. Let me stop. All right, so let's get it. This is for Scorpio. All right, let's go. In attack position, we have the Knight of Wands. Scorpio, shoot your shot. All right, Scorpio, listen. Okay, Scorpio, here it is out. I'm on it every day. I just be chilling for the most part. Anyway, Scorpio, we have the background portion. It's also Mercury Retrograde, to be honest with you. That's honestly what it's been, but that's not the point. So we have right here, this is the Eight of Swords. And so this is really kind of Scorpio, has been hard to see the sunset the way that it's supposed to be. Like, if you've been looking out at a sunset in the last bit, Scorpio, you weren't looking at it in terms of like, wow, such a beautiful sunset. You were probably looking at it like, man, the day is ending, huh? And everything turns to dark. And when everything turns to dark, I have nothing else to do but to feel the sincerity of all that I feel. And it's like, yo, y'all good? Are y'all good, Scorpio? And here's the kicker. Scorpio, y'all been feeling so much intensity, but the full moon of Scorpio, I'm going to be honest, this is kind of your permission slip to start acting up a bit. And I'm not saying act up to like destroy or disrupt anything for real, but there is this capacity to this to where it's like you need to genuinely, you are showing everybody else what it means to really feel, right? You're showing everybody else what it means to really be genuinely upholding the truest of your intention. And so Scorpio, you better put your magnetism on. As a matter of fact, full moon of Scorpio, if you are a single and you about to look out, you got to do that. You get what I'm saying? He said, Scorpio's forever cursed to shoot the shot. You're darn right. Because in terms of destroys, chill out. But for real, one of the concepts for real is that like you're genuinely having to show the scope of what you're truly aiming for. I think that Scorpio, you've had a lot of heart, and why it's been so hard to tap into that more emotive side is because you've picked up so much work by accident that you're like low-key forgetting that like, oh my God, I have a bunch of feelings. And so this right here is like acting out on more of those feelings. So this is you shooting the shot. This is you taking the chance. This is you campaigning for something that you're aiming for. So don't be afraid to step into your creativity and be a little loud about it, right? As we've been seeing Future and Drake and all them, they're beefing. They're really loud right now, right? All the Scorpios are very loud. And so the concept here is like, are you still willing to ride and claim that you are the greatest of what you do? That's really the trick here, Scorpio. Just to give y'all that context, this full moon of Scorpio, y'all are going to be really riding out for those, right? What are those feelings? You got to decide. That's for you to decide, Scorpio. All right, well, let's get it. Let's get the Cancer, right? Cancer, what we got? Cancer! You about to fall in love with your silly selves. Listen here, Cancer. If you have been lacking love within your world, now is the time to get on off your feet. Get up off your feet. Get up off your feet. I'm like this. Anyway, so the reason why this is important, underneath this, we have the Fool card. And the Fool card is showing you like this is a brand new situation. This is a brand new, not even a brand new situation. By the full moon of Scorpio, Cancer, and as we step into Taurus season a bit more, you're going to stop caring about everyone else's perception. And I think that's what's been screwing you up, Cancer, is that recently you've been like, I'm so worried about everybody. I'm so worried I have to take care of everything. I'm done with this. And it's in that I'm done, I'm up, I quit this BS that you're stepping into a brand new light. You're stepping into a brand new power. And most importantly, you have love on the way. This is either your passion. This is either you getting passionate. I was talking about how this whole entire thing is about the la petite mort. You feel me? Like if you gotta go get you some, go get you some, shorty. But but not for real. This is one of those things to where like there's a new development on the innermost of things. And that person who was over there liking all your stuff, that person who was over there like too scared to shoot the shot, you might even pick them up. I'm not even gonna lie. Like that Cancer, you might be like, you wanna know what? I'm saying something. The water signs are getting very active. This full moon in Scorpio. The water signs, y'all been ready to bug out. 1 second. Let's see what Pisces got. Yo, the water signs are about to start tripping this Taurus season. What's that? Pisces. I think 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I pulled something for Pisces and I was like, ooh, if y'all been doing some extra stuff, that's on you. Justice gonna come get you. But Pisces, I feel like now this is the reversal of that role in the case, right? Because getting the Justice card for y'all and the Magician underneath, I think in terms of Pisces energy, y'all are slowly starting to really see how your magic impacts the world outside of you, right? Scorpio's hitting on Cancers, probably. But the idea when it comes to that is that there's this brand new aspect to how you're... Hold on. Retrograde things, 2 seconds. Cancers, y'all wanted love. Pisces, y'all want your just due. And I think this is like a partner of yours being like, no, they weren't great. And you're like, you think I'm not great now? Well, let me show you the magic of what I can do. And this is like you moving on. And then in that movie moment, they're like, I've moved on too. And they run into you doing your own thing. And then they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that they moved on after I disrespected them. They moved on so quick. I thought that they were going to like me. No. Like that's really what's been happening, Pisces. And so the little fishes got some gills now. Let me stop. But for real, I think that y'all are genuinely going to be like on this new path of more deserving love, in comparison to you having to sit there and allow other people to kind of walk over your grace. I think Pisces, y'all are coming into a new development as far as like your own confidence. And that's how justice is going to start being served in your direction. Just remember your magic in the process and don't use your magic to dwindle on anybody or to like start peeping too much. This is about you accepting the fact that you're still open to more possibility. And even if you are within a loving situation, you're still able to open up new doors when it comes to this as well. Okay, I'm reloaded. All right, now, but that is for all of Pisces, right? Let me get into the earth signs one time for the one time. Earth signs, let's go. Okay, so Taurus, y'all about to have Jupiter and Uranus there. So we're going to add a little bit of razzle dazzle in because that's going to be impacting the earth signs mostly as well. So for Taurus, see what we got for you. Taurus, we have the Ace of Swords. Y'all going stupid. Let's go. All right, so the Ace of Swords, Taurus. Love this for y'all. Page of Cups, right? Now, whereas the other Page of Swords is like, alas, look at them. The Page of Cups is still liking the story, but the Page of Cups will slide through and be like, you look cute. Fire sign. And that'll be it. There'll be no other portions of that. The reason why I'm bringing this up, Taurus, is because it's like, I think y'all have been really guiding and building up admiration, or you've been learning how to accept compliments that maybe you didn't before. And because of that, you're really starting to see, Taurus, the capability that you genuinely have always had. And this is really weird because everything with Taurus is like, if you follow the rules, blah, 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 or you'll at least be stable. But it's like, hey, I've been following the rules and now things are actually moving in my favor. Now things are actually becoming innovative. That's really weird. And that's not something that most Tauruses are used to unless you have those specific parts to your chart. So the reason why this is happening is because Taurus, you're getting into a new position, especially because of this Uranus and Jupiter conjunction, to where it's like you get to decide what's normal and not. And as you decide what's normal and not for your life, is going to assist in your further process to all the manifestations that you're going to be going through. So I hope that this gives y'all a little bit of insight, Taurus, but that's really what I'm sensing in terms of this. And I'm going to keep going because I'm feeling this. We're going into Virgo. Yeah, I'm just going to go through. My fault. There's a need to just, okay, I see where we're at. Virgo, let's see what we got for you. Oh, they say get into machine mode. I ain't. Let's say, okay. Virgo, your days of sorrow are nigh. Nah, but for real, the days of like you kind of stressing about the things that you were before, this was an important aspect because you didn't know how to give and take properly. Virgo, naturally speaking, you always want to serve, right? There are some nastier Virgos in the world where they're like more so like, I'm going to strategically put everybody against each other so then I can take from them all. Mwahaha. But if you're watching this, you're probably not one of those Virgos. I mean, the reason why I'm saying it in this capacity is because the Virgo nature of this is that like you need to take and give on an equal playing field, right? And this is going to seem weird because in order for you to be on an equal playing field, Virgo, you might need to walk away from something. You might need to leave a certain something. You might need to leave a certain person. You might need to not deal with a certain aspect of that anymore in order for you to fully emphasize on your own gifts. And that's something that I'm definitely seeing for Virgo is you walking away from something in order for you to gain more clarity. And oops, just accidentally pulled this. And that's the Star card. Virgo, you got to get away from that other BS situation that's not giving you part of what you're getting. And as soon as you like stop putting that much energy into whatever it is, and you just don't even put it into anything else, you just like turn and do your own thing, you become the star. Literally, that simple. So be the star of your own world. People are still paying me money. All right, Capricorn. Let's see what we got for you, Capricorn. My fault. They just tell me stick in it. You know, I'm not saying it like that. This is an interesting, energetic day. So Capricorn. Capricorn, you make whatever you want to be born. 'Cause you have the ace of not swords, it's wands. It's wands. All right, I'm done. So basically, Capricorn, I'll put it like this. Cap, congratulations. Y'all been taking y'all sweet A time. Y'all said, work, get this working. Get this bag. Work. Yee! Surprise. Y'all are now literally hopping into a different stratosphere of success. Y'all, Capricorn, y'all had your head down so long. You're like, how's this going to change? What's it called? Like, this got to change. This got to be the situation that's at hand, right? And the concept here is that like the change that's about to occur, Capricorn, is going to be like too good to be true. You're going to be like, yeah, and that's why I need 50,000 if you want me to do this. They're like, okay. And you're like, huh? I was bluffing. They're like, no, for real. Like, that's fine. And you're like, and all I have to do is the same things that I've always done. And they're like, yeah, like, you've been doing really good. It's like, what? Like Capricorn, y'all are about to get a bag, a stupid, silly bag. And the reason why I'm saying it like this, Cap, shut up. Do not, you got the emperor. They literally want you to be their king. They're like, Capricorn, right now, you are actually at a height of everyone's view, right? You're actually at the height of everyone's like finesse right now. I'm really excited for y'all, Capricorn. There's going to be a huge turnaround on the financial sector, I feel like. And that's what's going to be bringing you into developing more of your own assets in this process. So Capricorn, y'all are about to collect a silly, funny, silly, stupid bag. And I'm very excited to watch y'all do this in this process. Congrats. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the air signs. Let's get to the airheads. Nah, I love my air sign people, but let's just keep it moving. There's a seriousness in all these cards though, and I don't want to dismiss them with my regular Sagittarian shenaniganery. So let's break this down. So Gemini, what we got? Ooh, Gemini. So Earth and Water, y'all having a good time so far. I will say, all the Earth and Water signs, y'all gonna be okay in this Scorpio full moon. But Gemini, tower gotta fall. Gemini, have you been two-timing? Have y'all been doing some extra stuff in terms of love, Gemini? Because it seems as though y'all didn't allow yourself to see properly through something. This is actually, the way I'm seeing this is that this is the ignoring of red flags. Whether that be within yourself or in somebody else, I think Gemini, y'all have been ignoring red flags super hard. And part of the thing that happens in ignoring those red flags is that it's like at a certain point, everybody there's, what else? Gemini. Y'all been ignoring red flags, and then when they were like, hey, this is bad, you're like, I'm gonna make my own red flags. I'll be the red flag just right back at them. Like, no, Gemini, this is not to play tit for tat. And I want to just let you know this in advance, because I think that for a lot of Geminis during the Scorpio full moon, y'all are going to be at a standstill process of like not necessarily knowing what to do. The reason why this is so critical is because it's like you might need to just take a seat for a bit, Gemini, because people are going to start remembering random stuff. Like, hey, remember when you said that one thing? It's like, yeah, but that was like 4 other Gemini iterations and ideas ago. And they might try to have you stick to it. They might be like, oh, you can't change your mind. People don't change, Gemini. And then you're there like, you want to know what? Maybe I haven't changed. Screw you. And everyone's like, oh, we knew you was going to say it. Don't let yourself get caught up in the hoopla. Don't let yourself get caught up in the BS, Gemini. This is actually low key. My biggest part is like, take some time to yourself, right? Do not play tit for tat this full moon in Scorpio. You're not going to like how it end off, you know? I'm actually, in terms of this, I hope this works as far as the general rap beef. I'd be really interested. It reminded me of like Kendrick is like, interesting. Anyway, I'm going to keep it going on some serious note. But Gemini, y'all going to be all right, but do not play tit for tat this full moon in Scorpio. That is literally my biggest advice, for real. Just like take a time out. Let it breathe. And if you let it breathe, it'll come to you. But do not try to force it. All right. So this right here is going to be from my Libras. Let's get Libra popping. All right. So the message that I have for Libra, let's see what we got. The World card. Okay. Libra. Let's keep it real with you real quick, right? Libra, the more that you cultivate your emotional world throughout this next week in this time frame and the full moon of Scorpio, etc., the more that you cultivate your emotion, I promise you this, Libra, like for real. Once you really establish how you feel about not only the things around you, not only your goals and aspiration, but most importantly, yourself, the world will literally open up to that. Like, Libra, you need to start flirting with the universe more. You need to start effing around and finding out in terms of this overall galactic, beautiful part of the universe that simply loves your Venusian selves, because y'all be fine even when y'all not trying to be. That's just how it goes. And the concept here is that in order for the world to open up, you need to be willing to celebrate what you already have. And the Queen of Cups capacity is that when you're emotionally like completely okay with what's already in front of you, I promise you the world is opening up in a way that's going to be ridiculous, but it's really contingent on, are you able to sit within your own power exactly where you are? Yes. Are you flirting with the universe as far as the rest of the intentions while you're still being happy with what you have? Yes. The world's going to open up in a way you would never imagine. I just wanted to point that out because that's going to be so important for Libras for this upcoming full moon in Scorpio. I don't have anything else to say for y'all on that. That was a short one, but that's literally it. There's no other no other interpretation. That is all. Okay. Aquarius. What we got? Aquarius. Y'all, Aquarius is about to get a bag too. Aquarius and Capricorn, y'all about to get a bag. Aquarius, you have been hiding from the world, and I've been noticing this. As soon as Pluto went into Aquarius, Aquarians have been disappearing from the world only popping up at the greatest of the accomplishments and then disappearing again. Like literally Aquarius has been like, yep, and here's the most important thing that I've done in my entire life, and I'll see y'all next week. And this has been a good aspect for Aquarius, and it's a good dichotomy that y'all been having. But here's the thing. Aquarius, y'all are about to be in such a good situation that you cannot hide behind that anymore. That's what's going to be happening for this full moon in the Scorpio. So let's say you've been like working on like a little business and this, that, and the third, or people have been trying to steal your ideas, just letting you know justice is going to be served, because they might have took your idea. Oh man, this person ended up taking my perfect idea for the company. And then this is them being like, hey, we actually saw the rough draft that the other guy wrote way before. And it's actually, you copied them bar for bar. And now we're going to have to fire you because you try to do that. And now we're giving them the position instead. Aquarius, your hard work is going to start paying off for things that you ain't even anticipate. And guess what? As soon as they fall off, who gets to step in and be king, Aquarius? You. It don't matter what gender you are. It doesn't matter what you identify with. You get to step up in that terms of royalty and start to make decisions, because they're going to finally start seeing the worth of your mind. So this might come with a little bit of, razzle dazzle. It might come with some other parts to some tension involved with that too. But this is really what's going to be bringing to a brand new part, right? Like that meme about winning the lottery and not telling people, but there will be signs. Absolutely. That is 100% what Aquarius is on for this next bit. 1000%. That's a perfect analogy. Appreciate it, fam. All right. Now let's get to the fire signs. Whoo, they keeping me on time today. They said get it popping. All right, fire signs. Let's go. It's going to start off with Aries. Let's do this. Aries, what do we have for you? Full moon in Scorpio. What's popping up? Let's go. Aries, guess what? It don't matter if you confuse, Aries. It don't matter if you confuse. It doesn't matter if you're there like, oh, what am I supposed to do next? I'm supposed to be representing this. I'm supposed to. It doesn't matter. You want to know why, Aries? You want to know why it doesn't matter? Because you have the King of Wands, and they're like, we don't know how to be as passionate. So Aries, help. And you're like, but I don't really know what to do. They're like, yo, just show up and do the thing that you already you're going to do. And it's like, I'm just being me. And they're like, we know that's what we need. And you're like, they're like, The reason why I'm saying it like this is the silly part, because like Aries, y'all don't need to know how good you are. Everyone else has to. And this is what's really coming through with this portion. So it's like, you might be thinking you're being modest, Aries. Oh, I'm just here. I'm just here to like the thing and like to really just say like I like how this goes. Like, no. Aries, it don't matter how humble you are right now. It doesn't matter how confused you are right now. This full moon in Scorpio, people are going to be looking to you like, oh, that's the king. We need their opinion. Oh, that's the person at the top of their field. We need to know that. Like, you're going to start getting into a height of thing. Ace of Wands. What am I telling you? Aries, this full moon in Scorpio is about to literally make you like a king in whatever you're doing. It's going to be stupid. And you're not going to want to admit it either. You're like, no, I'm just a humble thing. Like, you know how hard you work, Aries. Shut up. Come on, dog. That's what's Aries. You in a good spot too. This is Aries. Y'all are about to just be treated like royalty, and you're gonna be like, "But I am just a mere man, a mere whatever." That's gonna be for Aries, right? So let's get into Leo. Leo, full moon, Scorpio. Leo, you also have the Hierophant and you have the Fool. So Leo, that I don't care attitude, that whatever it is whatever it is attitude that you've been having is actually paying off. And the Fool card is really just having you tap into the idea that you don't really know where it's going to go. But that's exactly what's going to make you really good at this next portion of your life, because you're not caught into the ego of what's happening. You're not caught into the vibe of what's really going on. You're literally embracing the actual moment in a way that I don't think you've had prior. And so because of that, with the Hierophant, is that you're like, not only am I really finally accepting this, but I know exactly what I'm doing. And I'm really proud because like there is this, I didn't know what I was doing before, but now I know exactly what's happening. And that's what I've been feeling is really pulling up in terms of this full moon in Scorpio for you, Leo. Like the things that you were kind of iffy about prior, you're not going to be iffy about no more. I could tell you that it's not going to be iffy anymore. And that's part of what makes this time frame as beautiful lovely and understanding as it is, because that's a really cool piece, Scorpio. I think y'all are going to be I'm sorry, Leo. This is going to be really good for Leo for the full moon of Scorpio. I apologize. But that is something that's going on, right? But yeah, you did not just get your mini reading lesson. You did not get your mini reading yet at all. Mini readings are way different. They're way more specific. Trust. But still, I'm glad that you feel that way when I'm just pulling for the signs so far. But not the mini readings are specific. They're mad specific, and I'm trying to make sure that people still are able to get a little bit of information or insight, no matter where they're coming from with that. So appreciate y'all for pulling through for these 100%. And most of the stuff that I ever get from any of the live stream reading goes into the equipment and goes into this channel and goes into more assets that I've been using for video. So I appreciate each and every one of you who do get a mini reading, because it either feeds me or it puts me back in the studio to help make more. So it's a beautiful time. Appreciate y'all. All right, for my Sagittarians, let's get to Sagittarius, right? Sagittarius for this Scorpio full moon. What's pulling up? All right, Sagittarius, let's go. I'm going to let you know this right now. Sagittarius, if you have any haters, perpetrators of haters and haters and perpetrators and haters, justice is about to be served. Justice is about to be served. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, I screwed them over. I tried to screw them over before. And you, Sagittarius, here's a part that they're not getting. You had the opportunity to mess up all of that way before. Like whatever that they were being extra about, you had the opportunity to do whatever and like make a change so much further beyond. But you know what? Sag just chill. Sag is like, nah, I'm chilling though. You know, I don't know their life. I don't know their situation. Like just to let them keep doing what they're doing. It has nothing to do with me, right? And they might have kept pressing you. They might have kept doing this. But Sag, there is a ability to get things done that is coming through that you may not have felt like this before, because now you're getting your just desserts, and the universe is really trying to show you like this is what happens when you genuinely trust in spirit. So I think in terms of this, I think for Sag, being able to trust in the spirit, being able to trust in that there is this call. And as long as you're willing to continuously stand up for what you believe in and stand up for who you are, everything else is going to keep coming into abundance. But I will let you know again, Sag, like you have to do for most things, all your life you has to fight, right? So with that being said, oh my God, I'm stepping into this new step, right? And that's the case. That was not enough for Leo. That was exactly enough for Leo. 100% enough for Leo. That was the most succinct, direct line for Leo that came through. But of course, if you wanted to get more, there's always the mini reading, so you could pull through for that too. That's just for you. But yeah. So for Sag, that's really what's coming through as well in terms of that. Like, there's a definite change that's going to be going on in the air that's built off of your ability to really tap into what you already know, and you have to keep pushing what you already know in that process. And that's what's going to be changing that in this process for sure. Okay, so I hope that y'all enjoyed that. I know I said a lot of things, talked a lot of stuff, broke down a lot of information so far. Thank you all for staying in and staying through with me so far this entire time. I see all y'all have hit the like button pretty much, and this is a beautiful time. Thank y'all for having me in this regard, right? And so now we're about to transition over into the mini reading section. And here's my request. If you are watching this and you had just got your reading and you're not getting a mini reading, do me a quick favor and just have this playing on in the background. You could put it on mute. Just keep it on until the end of the live stream if you can, a different tab, everything else like that. This just lets YouTube know that you've had a good time watching this. And it's one of those things that end up really helping guide more people to the channel. So we get to keep building community, keep doing these readings, keep bringing this stuff up. It's been really cool to just be able to do this. I've done live streams for years, and this is the first time where like I'm getting paid to just be live, and that's really dope. So I can break down all the information, have no time or room to overthink it, and we'll do it live. Here y'all go. So I appreciate that. At some point in the future, we will have our full talk show set up, and I'll be like interviewing people or something. It'll be a good time, you know, slowly but surely. Appreciate each and every one of you for popping up And I'm doing this full moon and Scorpio thing early so you can see the dichotomy in between of all the like, oh my God, there's so much abundance this weekend. Wow. And then when you, because there's all this abundance this weekend, and it's going to hit Tuesday and everyone's going to be in their feelings and be like, oh, I just need to feel something. And so this is why I wanted to break this down to give you all the dichotomy of both. So appreciate y'all as always. And let me start to hop in to these mini readings. So I'm doing this off of my phone right now, which is perilous. So let me do that because my laptop died, because of course it did. And we're going to start off with Azuka. So let's go. So this is for Azuka, right? And she said, she did a reading with me not too long ago. Shout out to Azuka. She said, the archer in your life returned as I predicted in the reading I had with them. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I said that word for word, bar for bar. However, you said that if it did not work out, someone with similar qualities would appear. Do you see that person? Let's see what pops up, Azuka. All right. So is this man's gonna stop acting up, or do you need to find a new man's that has the same steez? Let's find out what's popping through. Okay. This is a good question for the end of this Aries season as well. All right. So first of all, right, I'm gonna let you know right now, and I'm gonna be very transparent, and you know how I am. You had a full reading with me, so you know I'm not gonna lie. You have been honestly kind of stressing this part out. I think there's been like a lot of stress in that because genuinely and truly speaking, I think you do have a lot of feelings for this person, but I definitely see that you think that there's other roadblocks that are also in this process. And so what I just pulled from what I'm seeing is that with this Hierophant card, this is one of those situations to where you're actually going to be experiencing this return to self that's going on. Right now, there's this big return to self portion that's happening. You're starting to see what part of the charm that this dude has that you've been so drawn to. And I'm going to be so honest with you. You might have to take your talents to South Beach. You might have to make a different approach when it comes to this, because it's not the fact that that person doesn't enjoy you or like you or everything else, but for what you're exactly aiming for, I don't necessarily think based off of these cards that they're going to be pulling up for you in the same way that you need to be comfortable into something that's longer lasting and sustainable. And so what I think is honestly happening right now is what I was saying, where it's like the new dude that you were explaining that we talked about, I do think it's about to pop up. It will at least be closer to May, if anything. That's really what I'm getting, is like closer to May. I would assume that ends up popping through just because of the way that this is set up in the next little bit. But Azuka, for you, I think this is really you finding and tapping into that new person who's about to become available very soon. Don't stress it. Don't run for it. Don't look for it too much. That's it. I want that talk show. Bro, if I do a talk show, I need you in the talk show with me, like for real. Like 100%. That would be mad funny. But yeah, that's going to be for you, Azuka, 100%. I'm glad that you're able to see the dichotomy, but just know that the newer thing is about to pull through very soon. Okay. So for Biafia, I always feel like I pronounce your name wrong. I know I'm not, but it just feels like I am. I hate pronouncing people's names wrong if you're new to this. Okay, so what do we have for you, y'all? All right, we have the Knight of Swords. It looks like you took a 2 days of rest and you're already ready to hop back into everything. Whatever the divine wants you to know. It sounds like your Aries moon is taking over a little bit. Like you're like, yeah, I took a break. It was all of 2 days. I'm already ready. Like I'm ready to hop back in to everything. Like I took a solid 2 days. Why is everyone so surprised that I'm already back and active? Well, here's a portion. Here's the case, right? I'm gonna let you know right now, when you took that time to yourself, justice was served. Justice was finally served. You got that time to yourself. You got that time. You got that energy. You got that vibe. You got to balance out your own aura in a lot of senses, right? But here's the kicker behind this, is that now that you're back in action, it's like, oh no, I'm fighting for all the same things all over again. I'm still having to keep the same energy. I'm still having to have the same arguments. I want to think about this, and you're still arguing with me about the thing from before. Mind you, a large part of that is Mercury retrograde still. But I'm going to let you know right now, come the end of this Mercury retrograde around the 25th time frame, you are literally, all the stuff that you're holding up right now, you're only doing it because you're ready to plant the seed in another place. And so one of the things that's like happening right now is that we talked about this thing prior, but you haven't put the official things are going to change into the universe yet. And I think in terms of what's happening here is that you're about to put your official, I am putting in a new request into the universe from the course of this weekend to the end of retrograde and to the start of May. I think you're really just starting to genuinely aim away from that original intention, and you're going to be finding a new point of grace that ends up popping up with that as well. So that is something that I wanted to point out to you because that is very prominent in this. And I hope that has helped you. So yeah, cool. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it going. Right. I'm on a roll today, so I'm just keep it going. I'm just keeping going in the energy. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, let's go. Hi, how can you get a card reading too? That is an excellent question. And now let me make sure that I can send you the thing that you need to get a card pull. Going into my computer that is in my hand because it's a portable computer, but we call them phones. I'm going to click on this thing, click on another thing that says, let's do this. And I'm going to send it over to you entirely for free. Oh, thanks, Brandon. Good look, Tex. We go way back. It's always funny to see homie pop up because I'm like, bro, what you doing here? I appreciate you, bro. All right, so that's that over there. I want to do all that for no reason. Okay, so let's hop in. We're getting into Zachary. Zachary, this is your reading right now. So let me hop on over. All right, Zachary. Couldn't grab a reading last time, but the message still came through. Oh, love that. Love the vibes. Thanks for the insight, of course. Are you moving in a strong direction? I think I did pull for you last time, and I did pull. If you didn't see it originally, it's at the end of that last reading that I did. So if you hadn't seen it, I did pull for you. You were the last or second to last one I pulled for. But make sure you double check that out again because I did say you were going to have a good time. But let's see where you're moving forward in your direction, right? Let's see. Oh, we're dropping stuff. Looks like you're about to head in a direction for sure. Let me just make sure I pull the rest of the stuff, right? Bang, bang, bang. All right. Ooh, Zachary, you have the Ace of Cups and the Chariot, and I'm going to let you know this right now, right? Remember when I pulled everything I pulled for Scorpio? This is going like double for you, triple for you. Because I know it's like you're in a new spot. You're really, tapping into the new spot that you're in. But this right here is really showing that you're about to enter this new part of your emotional world, that everything is going to be guided through the course of your heart. So why is this important? Well, let's talk about it. Because prior you were like, I don't know what I'm picking. I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Why am I making this decision? Everyone's expecting me to make the best decision. But am I making the best decision? I don't know if I'm making the best decision. And then the Queen of Wands comes in and you're like, wow, like I'm really able to actively do the things that I enjoy. And part of the Queens of Wands energy that's coming through is that being able to do what you enjoy, being able to tap into what you really like want to bring to the table is slowly getting you gathered to start to campaign towards your own goals, to really start to campaign towards your own desires. Part of the reason why things kind of slowed up is because this is for you to decide what it was that you really want. And now that you have decided, you're figuring out how are you balancing out the core part of what it is that you're aiming for, and also your rest, also your personal peace, also your personal space. There's this concept when it comes to the Temperance card that's really guided around you taking the time to like breathe and alchemize between the mind and your emotions. And that's really what I think is coming through as far as like what you're trying to rock with, Zachary. I think you're really getting into this new position to where the heart is becoming the priority in a place where the mind cannot ignore. And both of those things are going to be really impactful in order for you to keep moving forward in a way that you know that you can. So get rid of the notion that you can't do whatever, because everything is possible when you choose it. And that's what I really want to leave you with as we get to go, as I keep going with this. So you're in a really good position. Listen back to the Scorpio reading one more time when you get the chance to. It's going to come out really good. I'm hyped for you. That's good. Okay. So this is the next reading. This is going to be for Fola. All right. This is for Fola right here. Full moon's lighting up your 8th house. Don't know if you're excited or terrified. Fair enough. Major conjunctions, used to the turbulence. Well, let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it, Fuller. What's pulling through for you? What's pulling through for you, Fuller? Let's find out. Oh, we dropping stuff. All right. Bang. That's one of them. Bang. Bang. So, Fuller, I'm going to be honest with you, right? The reason why things have been so terrifying, so to speak, is because you're actually facing your own shadow. And this is why things have been so interesting, Fuller. We have the devil card for the underlying part of this card. And the reason why is because the main thing that I always want to point out about this card is that it's the exact opposite of the Lover's card. And so whenever you think that love has abandoned you, you typically get this card. You're typically getting felt with this power and control, or there's a weird control dynamic that's been happening within your life. Maybe you're causing it for yourself, maybe not. But what I can say is that if you are in a heartbreaking situation, that's what I have to point out. If you're in a heartbreaking situation, and I'm going to be honest with you, you know I don't be pulling nothing when it comes to these cards. When it comes to that heartbreak portion, that's what you've been feeling in the last bit. The next portion to it is that you've been giving too much of yourself in this process. And to be super transparent with you, whatever this thing that you've been giving too much for, you need to cut off cold turkey. I don't care if this is a lover that you've known for 5 years. Whatever it is that they've been taking from you has been too much for you to give. And you know that it's been too much for you to give. And that's exactly why all this turbulence is popping up. That's exactly why all this other part is popping up. You need to make sure that you end up tapping into the next portion. That's what's important about this right here is that, Fola, you're having to step away from something that you know is inherently toxic. And that's what's making this as difficult as it is. You being used to turbulence is one thing. You ignoring the fact that how the turbulence is impacting you is another. And I think part of the reason why this transit and why this full moon is coming up the way that it is for you is because you need to see that energy for yourself. And if anyone else was dealing with the same stuff outside of you, you would be the first to their defense. And so how are you going to be able to allow yourself to walk away from something that you know is not doing well from you? Because I promise you, on the other side of you getting out of that is you being able to use your mind to achieve whatever it is that you want. There's so much more beyond the situation that you're in right now. And you just need to be brave enough to take the step to make that happen. You got this. Just wanted to let you know. That was really deep, but hope that helped. Okay. Let's keep going. So right now, this is for Queen. All right, Queen. Let's pop up. Let's get it popping. All right, Queen. I know the last one was a little oomph, but that's why I mentioned everything with this Scorpio full moon is that there is a lot of intensity. But if you've been following your intensity, it's going to really be helping out in comparison. Okay. Next pull. Queen. Yeah, Queen. This is for Queen. Queen, you've been trying to make a decision. Complicate no decision. Anyway, so this is can you tell I low-key miss doing music sometimes? Yeah, that's how that go. Anyway, this right here is the Two of Swords, right? So Queen, I think you have been stuck between a rock and a hard place. And the reason why I'm saying stuck between a rock and a hard place is because you've been working late. Because you've been really putting in the amount of effort of 2-3 people. I'm gonna be honest with you. And the reason why you're at a crossroads is because I think you finally saw it, not recently. You're like, wait a second. My coworkers never come back for their break until 30 minutes after. Why have I been getting got on this floor? Because all my coworkers are in the back taking a snack break, and I've been working this entire time. And this is you, and this is you. And I'll put it like this. This reminds me of back in the school days where you would have a project with people, and then it would be the last day of the project, and they're like, well, how did everybody work together on this project? And then everyone's like, we all put in the equal amount. And you're like, no, I have to tell you, Miss Anderson, I was the one who did all the work. And then it's like, whoa, what do you mean? It's like, they didn't do the work that I did. I did that work. And everyone's like shocked, aghast. But it was a group effort. No, it was not a group effort. However, I will still carry them to the promised land. So Queen, it was really interesting for you is that it's like, even despite people not necessarily digging into the fact that you've been helping out as much as you've done, even though people haven't even been giving you the full credit for like what you've been rocking with, you're still bringing them up. And the reason why I think that's important is because that's more of a show of character than anything else that they've been on. Like, that's a show of like true character. That is a class act, because it's like, hey, I'm just letting you know they ain't do this part, but I'm still going to let them do their thing. Right. Like, you're not going to let them claim what they didn't rock with outside of you, but you are still going to allow them to still get credit for that course. And I'm just giving you this analogy, and I hope that this rings true, but it's through the grace of like where you at that really gets the things to move forward. So congrats on that, because I think you're going to finally get some more of that credit you've been looking for. And then people are going to start turning around being like, oh, wow, you really did help us. And it's like, yeah, well, next time we need to get more of a camaraderie going, or else I won't be as graceful as this. That's really what's been happening for you, Queen. So more power to you, for real. Okay, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you comment some stuff. Tell YouTube you think I'm pretty or something. I don't know. Then maybe they'll give me more money. That's how it might go. All right. So this is for Jasmine, right? Jasmine. Let's see. You don't know what you want. All right, cool. Let's get on the other side. You want to know how to use this energy to further step into your power and eradicate the fear of being seen. Okay, that's the most important part. I've read everything, but let's see for Jazz. Let's see what we got to do for your energy. Let's pop up. Let's get this going. Let's get it. All right, Jazz. Let's go. Bang, bang, bang. Baboozle. Bam, Jazz. When you walk away, you won't hear me say, please, oh baby, don't come. Let me stop. But the concept of this, right? I'll be singing in these all the time at this point. It's crazy. Just a little bit of snippet though. I don't want to get no copyright strike. They're tripping off that. But we have the 6 of Swords. And so you are slowly actually stepping away from a thought frame. And I think that's the one that was surrounding in your fear, right? The problem is when people have a fear of being seen, one of the main things that really comes up behind the fear of being seen is that you know what you're talking about. Because the people that are not afraid to be seen typically don't know what they're talking about. And if you want to be seen in a certain light, you got to know what you're talking about. So like to put into context to you, you have been walking away from the fear, but you've been also having to load up more so what you already understand to be true. And as you stand on your business in terms of that, right? As you stand on the business in terms of that process and this aspect, you're starting to really sense the idea that like all it really takes is a little confidence. I've seen people who've gone to thousands of acting classes and cannot act for anything. They can't step into that. You might not have had the same schooling, but you're able to genuinely tap into that same aspect that they might spend way longer to figure out how to do. Now, why is all this happening? Why is this walking away happening? Why is this new parts of this? I'm gonna let you know this right now. You're going to come into a stronger part, but you need to simplify. You're wanting to be seen for like 4 or 5 different things. Do not do that. Do not do that to start off with. Focus on the main 2. Because if you try to do everything all at once, you're going to be like, oh no, this is overwhelming. I have to now stick up to all those things. So to give you even like context into my thing, when I first started, I was like, oh, I'll do all this stuff. I'll do astrology. I'll do tarot. I'll do music. I'll do this, blah, blah, blah. It's like I always kind of pick 2 at a time. And the reason why is because as soon as you start to get into all 5, it's like, oh, this is too much, right? Now my work has gone into the astrology and video field. It's only 2. So there's 2 fields that I'm working on, the spiritual field and the part that's all about presentation. The reason why I'm giving you this gem and this capacity and like real life status is because like you are still going to be seen, but don't try to be seen for everything you do. Be seen for those main two things that are on your heart right now. And that will at least get you started into the foray of the rest of that. I did just say foray in real time. Who am I? Anyway, but yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But yes, Jasmine, that was the reading for you. I hope that you enjoy. What's good, Tabitha? How you doing, Tabitha? And I just did a reading the other day. Simple and clean. I'm glad that you understand the song and the reference. You know, if it wasn't for that game, I would not be who I am today. That's a fact. It's an ill fact, I will say. Okay, Tabitha, let's see. Extra for that extra you spent with me on my chart. Oh, I appreciate it. Let's pull a couple for you. We did do a reading the other day. I know this is still for the love and everything, but you know, we're gonna give you a card. All right, let's go. So love and career. These cards are popping out interesting. Tabitha, we talked last time we had this conversation, and I was talking about how you were pulling off this matriarchal role to things, just to kind of paraphrase and obviously not get too much into what we were saying. But there is this matriarchal role of what you were trying to tap into, and there's always this masculine oomph to it. So this is the Emperor card, and because I was pulling this for love and career, you also need to have somebody who's like, oh, there we go. Yes, you need somebody who has the same intensity as that. In terms of your career, I think you're already kind of set on this career portion. I'm going to be real with you. I think in terms of this career portion, you already kind of see what's in the horizon. The only issue right now is how we get in there. And that's going to take some time. Like I mentioned before, we're still in retrograde. We have like until like the insides of May before we really start to, as a collective, keep moving forward on that bridge. But you did ask about love and stuff. And I got the King of Cups. And I also have the Queen of Cups. So if I was a gambling man, which I'm not, but if I was, I would like to gander that this is somebody who understands your emotional pool. And here's something that I think I want to point out in terms of this emperor, in terms of this empire, in terms of what you're building, in terms of figuring out the love and career, is that you need somebody who can match your emotional pool. So this might not be the most flashy dude that's there. This might not be the most astute. This might be the guy in there who's willing to cry. And the reason why I'm saying it that way is because I might say that real quick and you're like, no, I would never. But when you really step back and think about it, you do need to have somebody who really understands the totality of like that up and that down. And I remember explaining in your chart how it's like you're a little bit more tapped in terms of, you know, some of the darker aspects of life based off of the other aspects to your chart. This is about you really embracing that light portion. Because people that are who you're looking for is about to bring out a certain sense of light within you, but you also need to bring that light out within them. And that's really what I'm seeing. And I don't know if that's going to come immediately, but I do think that the person that you're looking for has a really strong emotional capacity, probably may have also been in the force at one point, to be very honest with you, because I think that's something that you would be able to relate to on a back and forth basis. And that's what I'm really sensing from that. So I hope that helps out, because that's what I'm picking up from that. Bro, can't have a cry baby ugly. No. But yeah, get the both combined. Not really want to mix the both. Oh, I see you. But yeah, I think it's one of those situations to where it's like not them being a crybaby, but them really having, this is what I really mean. When I think about the King of Cups, think about the King of Sorrow. And I know that's a little deep, but it's one of those situations to where it's like, this is somebody who understands the concept of loss in a way that I think can also lead to a lot of gain. And that's really what I'm trying to get at in terms of that. So they have a strong emotional bit, but it's not necessarily that they're crying every 5 seconds, but it is something to still think about in that process, just to let you know. Right. So yeah, I hope that helps. And I appreciate you for pulling through for the original reading in the first place. Thank you. Appreciate the love. Okay, I'm still going. I'm just going through all of them. I appreciate this. I think we're finally getting into a flow in terms of this. So make sure that you hit that like button. And just to order the full reading at this point, y'all are bugging. This is what I'll be doing for everybody. Imagine what I could just do for you, you know? All right. Thank you for saying I'm a beautiful light being. I appreciate it. 1 second. Yes. No worries. You can pull up whenever you're ready. Yes, magic people, more people on YouTube. Discover that you're what starseed system? Exciting. I'm excited for that. All right, let's go. So, Hadassah. I hope I did not pronounce that wrong. I hate pronouncing people's things wrong, right? Okay, deep, cool, but no whiny boy. That is exactly what I was trying to get at. I'm glad we reached that conclusion. That's exactly what I meant. Perfect. But this is going to be for Hadassah now, right? So you've been really tapping into a brand new experience in the last little bit. You have kept surviving, moving through, figured out what star system. You're on the path to a lot of magic, and I appreciate the love in terms of how you just, sent that in the process. And here's what I think is coming up for you right now, Hadassah, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly. We have the Page of Wands, and the Page of Wands is the curious. So I think the curiosity factor that you have has been increasing, especially since you've been figuring out your origin. And I need to let you know something right now. And this is also some tea. When you figure out your origin, when you figure out the star system, when you're really true that, I'm going to let you know there's this time frame of remembrance, of burnout, I don't really know how else to explain it, but there's this time frame that usually comes in that's like, oh, like you're feeling all the feelings, you're really having to adapt, you're really having to move through those motions. And so I think there was a big burden prior to where you were like, yo, I just had this experience. I'm now picking up all the pieces. People aren't being as patient as I thought they would be in terms of my progress because of everything that happened. And you might really be hitting a reset button right now. And so I think in terms of you getting into the more of the general occult or more of the magic and the blessings and the gratitude and all the work that we do as spiritual workers, I think that's coming up for you. But first, you're really having to this is a hard reset. And you said it beforehand that you had this near experience and then you ended up kind of cruising through and becoming different from it. This is similar to that regard because I see you marching off into the sunset afterward, but there is a certain reset happening. And what this reset is going on about is because I just flew a card over here. So many things. I'm sorry. This flew out again. The hard reset is happening. Literally, the hard reset is happening. Why? Because you're about to step into a gratitude fueled abundance trip. I think that's really what's going on. Is that you're really getting into this sense of abundance. You felt that during the eclipse. Perfect. So you're getting into this new sense of abundance, which really is tied to you healing your inner child, which is really interesting. So I think the one reason why you're having this hard reset is because you've been looking at the world from a very adult point of view, whereas you need to look at it once more time through the eyes of a child. And that's where the rest of the spiritual portion is going to start opening up and flowing through for you. So you're on the right track. You're on the right track. I think this full moon of Scorpio is really going to help push that forward even more past all that, especially because the full moon is going to be happening on your moon sign. So this is going to be really making that change, pushing you forward and getting you tapped into even more of the acoustic and more. So more power to you. Let's get it. All right. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I'm on 10 right now. Yes. Okay. This right here, this is going to be for Laura. So if your name is Laura, this reading is for you. If your name is not Laura, this reading is not for you. But if your name is Laura, it's for you. So currently feeling blocked, trapped, angsty, sad, full of self-doubt. You better stop that. I mean, that's what we're here for, honestly. What are you missing? Where is this coming from? You're prepared to go there, but can't figure out what the energies are trying to tell you. Well, let's break this down then, Laura. Absolute change of perspective. We love to see it. All right. Laura, this is for you. It's all about you, girl. On your birthday. Let me stop. I know, for real, let's get it. So, Laura, this is for you. What are you missing, quote unquote? And I don't think you're missing anything, but let's see why that feeling is in this regard. We're just going to go intuitively with this, pop this open. You need to remember love. You need to remember love. Love. There's no song that's attached to that. I just made that up. But you need to remember love, Laura. I think one of the portions to why everything else has been happening is because It's so interesting in trying to perceive what other people's love looks like that we forget about our own. And I'm going to show you something right now. Like, Laura, hold on. Like, I'm so serious. And I hate being the like, love yourself type person. That's not the vibe I ever am on as a human. But what I can say, you've been waiting for love to show. You've been waiting for love to show. Part of the thing is that you're like, I know that there's this love portion coming. I know that there's this feeling coming. I know there's something that's going to sweep me off my feet. But when is it getting here? I think that's been a real important aspect to this. But here's the thing. Do you see how this angel is pulling up in this cup? This angel said, we gonna get a little tipsy. We're gonna get a little crunk. We gonna have a good time tonight. Yeah. And you like, I'm waiting for a cup from the universe coming through to fill my cup. Anyway, but the idea, the reason why I'm pointing it out this way is because genuinely speaking, you've been out looking for love, not realizing that it's you pouring the love into your own cup. And then what happens after this? There is an apotheosis on the way. I know that's a fancy word, and I'll be extra sometime. But the reason why I'm saying there's an apotheosis is because, like, you are in a transform. I'll put it like this. When I first came up, I'm going to be so honest with you. When I first came up and I started tapping into like tarot and everything else like this, I was at a really integral change in my like view as a human being. I kept getting this card no matter what, and I hated this card. But do you want to know what this card did? This card literally just showed that sometimes you have to just like stay in suspension, and the universe opens up the doors to what you never thought it was anticipating. So as soon as you open up to that love and you start feeling that love within, it's going to be like one of those situations to where you might be feeling off for a bit. But trust me when I tell you, as soon as that gets downloaded fully, you are going to be unstoppable. Like, you're really going to be bringing in a lot more power. And that's where you start to go there. So you have to fill in the love for self again, the way that you would love somebody else, especially as a Libra. Libras know how to love. Well, y'all know how to love, but this is a matter of you knowing how to love something other than just you. You know, that's not what I'm trying to say. The love that you're about to share is towards you, which opens up the world to everything else. That's what I was saying. There we go. How many cookies out of the cookie jar you get? The whole thing. I owe them some more cookies. But yeah, that's pretty much the vibe there. So I hope that helped, Laura, for real. That's really what I'm seeing with that. Okay. This is for our good friend Bran, who's here, because that's his YouTube name, so I'll go with that. Bran said, do a reading for the rat beef. I know my future. I will be a god. More power to you. Do you think you have reached the next plane of existence? I'm going to fight you, bro. I know you in real life. It's up. But you want to know what? For the fun of it all, let's do the rat beef. Let's see what pops up. Let's just... I can't stand you, fam. Oh, God. Scorpio being like, why are these Scorpios beefing? Let's pull for it, right? So we have, who we got? We got Kendrick, Future. No, hold on. Yeah, Kendrick, Future, The Weeknd. Everybody's mad at Drake because they can no longer trust him, not just in one album, but in two. Let's figure out this rap beef. I can't believe you having me pull for this, but I got you. You want to know why they're having a rap beef, my friend? Because they don't know where the money at anymore. They don't know where the money's at. They don't know what happened to the money. I heard that Drake owns some of their publishing. They don't know what happened to the money. Oh, man, let's find out. Let's find out more. Can't believe I'm doing this. Okay. Ooh. I'm going to be honest. I'm actually kind of excited now. So in terms of this rap beef, I think I might have found part of the solution, right? So I heard it once more. I heard that Drake owns a lot of their publishing, right? This is him sitting there. I think this is him sitting there being like, haha, I got all your money. Haha. You thought you made this advance. Haha. And there he is, champagne poppy, living it up, toasting to everything else, right? Drake actually an evil Scorpio. Yes, he is. He gets away with it. But it's like everyone's living it up like, wow, this is this. And here's something that I see though. And I'm going to put it two ways. I got the Lover's card. And I don't know if they're beefing because of a lady in particular, or if they just like, actually it is a lady in particular. All this beef started off because of a lady. Wars have been fought for more, but literally like the whole beef is about a girl. I don't know which girl, but that's the beef that they're in. Their beef is literally about a girl. And they're trying to take that down because he got it because of the advance. But the worst part is that the girl that they're all fighting for is actually for real a gold digger. So that's crazy. So they really are beefing about that. I heard that as a rumor, but that's what they're actually beefing about. They're just mad because of that. And so everybody's putting in their 2 cents to go at Drake and to take him down. But Drake already did that. And so he's just waiting for people to still send him the money because he owns all their money. Wow. Yeah, Drake. I think that there's going to be a something that comes to the head of the rap beef. I can't believe I'm really doing this as a reading. I'm tripping, but I think what's happening here is that by the time the full moon of Scorpio hits, we're going to really see that. Maybe he actually drops the song that comes out, but we're going to see a very new transition in that regard. I can't believe I just read for that, but hey, here we are. But I got you. The baby freestyle was good. Hopefully he gets uncanceled, but we'll see what happens with him. So this is the next one, right? This is for Asharia. I've pronounced that wrong. I hate pronouncing names wrong. I don't want to just say Ash, but this is also for Ash. So I want to make sure that you know. Whatever you got coming in, I guess. Okay. I read the thing. All right. So this is for you, Ash. Let's break this down. Whatever you got coming up, let's find out. Okay, so first of all, whatever you got coming up is what you're going to make. You got the Chariot, so it's up to you to make, but it's going to start off with celebration. And part of the things about manifestation that's hard is that it's hard to sometimes celebrate things in life when you don't have everything that you need, or when you think you don't have everything you need, right? And here's what's really happening in terms of your world and why I think it's been so difficult. You've literally felt your whole entire world starting to change. The only problem that's been occurring is that you haven't realized that this has been what you've actually wanted to bring into the table. The reason why is because you haven't fully tapped into the emotional side. The world started changing before you even embraced that feeling part of it. And so it's sometimes I think you were saying, it's like, well, how is this feeling? Why am I feeling this way? The feeling that's going on is so you can embrace that feeling, because feeling is more than just fear. Feeling is more than just sad. Feeling is about elation. It's about happiness. Happiness is an emotion. Like elation is part of the emotional pool, right? And this right here is why this is getting confusing, because you're like, I've never been in a situation where I've been able to feel my feelings and have it be like seen as good. And I think this is why it's been so difficult for you, because you're about to head onto a campaign on really telling people how you feel more often than not. And just that alone is going to open up a sense of catharsis in order for you to really actively say that. And I know that you're a Cancer with 2 Aquarius placements. So a lot of the times you're going to want to not be in your emotional pool. You're going to not want to be like in the feelings the way that everyone else is in their feelings. But the thing is that you're actually not. You're actually not. And what's been going on and what's been actually popping in with this is that you just hit this Empress portion. So things aren't even necessarily getting bad, but they are changing in order for you to truly embrace the other capacity of that Venusian principle. And what's this Venusian principle? You need to accept that it's okay to be queen. And sometimes the queen can be sad. And so it's like, are things getting better? It's like, yeah, but you need to accept that royalty portion of that. It's more than just you. It's more than just the ego. It's your higher self and other things as well. So when you really get to tap into that, that's what's going to be bridging you into this next portion of everything. So I hope that helped. I just wanted to let you know that. But that is definitely what I've been sensing from this. Things are going to look better very soon, but you have to just let them look as they go to. Someone else just snuck in and got a reading before my second to last one. I appreciate it though. Okay, cool. All right. So this is for Sharon. Let's break this down. Let's get it. Sharon, let's go. So what do I have for you? Oh, you've been doing some energy work, huh? Okay. I see you. Good for you. See what's popping up. Bang, 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 plow. So we have the King of Swords. And so there's an idea or someone who's helping present an idea to you that I don't think you thought was previously possible. And so with this idea being presented, I think there's like a eureka moment that you've had recently, but you don't know what to do with it yet. And that's okay. Because here's the kicker. You're finally coming into a position in your life where you're starting to have this sense of like, peace is the wrong word, but you're starting to have this certain sense of like, oh, things are going to be good. Oh, things are going to be fine. Oh, things are going to be all right. Right. And with that being said, the reason why this is happening is because of this strength card. So the strength of your heart is starting to actually peek through in a way that I don't think you anticipated. I think that you might have thought like, oh, people are going to judge me for this. Oh, people aren't going to necessarily get this. But that's not the case. People have been eating it up. As a matter of fact, this is your Leo rising, if I'm not mistaken, coming into the fray and starting to really pull up now. The Leo energy you have is starting to actively start to pop out. And because of that, we're getting faced with a judgment card. And the reason why I'm getting the judgment card is because I think you have to make a decision coming up. It's going to be a really important decision. And this decision coming up isn't going to make or break you. But I want to explain it like this. It's not to make or break you as a person. It's not to make or break you as like any type of position that is, but it is for you to see and to recognize that the work that you're doing has always been important. And I think the judgment card portion to this is like, this is you really choosing to finally take that last step. And then the universe gets to open up everything else in that process for you. And guess what happens after that? The Fool. So at the end of this retrograde, you're going to be faced with a decision, and whatever decision you take is going to be the right decision, because whenever you get the Fool after that, that just knows that you're on a brand new adventure. Therefore, the best decision was not to make whatever other decision they were forcing you to, and to live your own best life. So it looks as though that you're about to be in a good position. I've literally felt as I was pulling for you, I was like, oh, they've been doing their energy work. I see you. So you're going to be in a really good spot, but make sure you lay into that Leo energy a little bit more and claim your fire. That's going to help a lot. Okay. Lay low or go high. Give me some weekend vibes. This is for Can I Call You Rose? 'Cause you're sweet and fine. All right, anyway. So this is for... yeah. Anyway, no auto-tune. We doing it live. Okay, cool. I can't read this on the screen that I have it on. Oh, I look pretty. Look at me go. Wow. I see it's like a little screen. Wow. 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 We're doing so good. Anyway, so this is for you, Rose. All right, let's get into it. Let's hop into it. If you're still planning on a mini reading, it's the absolute last call. I would like the absolute last call. All right, Rose, this is for you. Oh, Lord. Okay, I almost dropped stuff. I was excited, though. My falsetto ain't hitting today, but that's okay. So, Rose, this is for you. Yeah. Oh, no doubt. I appreciate you for pulling up. Thank you for your passion and popping up for this, right? And no worries. This has been a weird day energetically anyway. You don't need to be here at the exact moment, and I appreciate you wanting to. That means the most. Rose, we have the Temperance card. So it looks as though you have been really starting to delve into your spirituality in a way where it's not daunting anymore. I think you've been just coming to peace with your own sovereignty. I think that there's been this portion of you that used to be a little bit more afraid to acknowledge your spiritual side, and now... oh, you are on one right now, Rose. So we have the King of Cups. I want to make sure I'm not missing a question. Oh, do you stay in or do you go out? You stay yourself in your house. Stay in the crib. King of Cups. This is you really understanding the totality of that emotional world. The Magician. You're learning how to actively use all that emotional world. And I'm going to put it like this. You're this weekend, you are literally balancing out the divine masculine and the divine feminine within that has everything to do with feeling. And right in between both of this is the Magician. This is literally the premier weekend to stay yourself in the house. the premier weekend. Go out next weekend or something. Go out once retrograde's over, because this is like the real spiritual attunement type of weekend. If you can intentionally go into this weekend with all of that spiritual notion that you were aiming for, all of that pops back up is going to happen so quickly. Like, I'm actually really excited. I think this is going to be one of those situations to where you really get to push forward the energy that you've been aiming for in terms of your sincerity. So this is a weekend to really dive into that moon energy, that lunar, that intuition that you intrinsically have. And that's what's going to be guiding you into the greatness and the totality of what you're aiming for. Hide your sons, hide your wives. OD. But yeah, that's 100% what's going on in terms of you, Rose. Yeah, stay yourself in the crib. This is a great spiritual weekend for you. Homie said he was a king of cups once, but there was a lot to clean up. I can't deal with you, bro. Appreciate you though. That's one of my brothers right there for real. But in terms of all this, right? It looks as though we have finished an entire live stream. It looks as though we have talked all this talk. We have explained all the things. We have helped the people. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm actually going to be slowly getting the masterclass together for Saturn. I don't know if that's going to be happening in April yet or not, but I will obviously be covering all the new moons, full moons, etc. But the Saturn one is going to be really interesting. We're going to have to tap into a lot for that one, but I'm intrigued to see how that ends up going. And I appreciate each and every single one of y'all for popping up, giving me that time. I started off feeling really weird as I got into this live stream, but as I kept talking that and being around the community and the people, I have felt a lot better and to break everything else down. So I'm actually getting a phone call. Therefore, this is the universe's way of, hey, bro, shut up and keep it going. But I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I don't really know how to properly end this off because the stuff that I have is behind me. But yeah, thank y'all for being here. Appreciate you. Share this with your friend. Tell your friends about me. Let me stop. But see y'all in the reading soon if you want to get a reading and all that good jazz. So, okay, bye. Oh, wait. I'm confused again. So this is over here, right? And so I have to turn this way, right? I'll turn this way. And then when I do this and I click this, now I'm good.